Hello everyone, welcome to our Catalyst Logistics Kickoff. This will be one of the first of the series. We'll walk you through all of the logistics that are necessary between now and the end of your Catalyst cycle and your showcase at Digital Transformation World in May. As you know, I'm Tanya. I'm the Catalyst Program Manager here at TM Forum, and I'm your point of contact for any questions that you might have related to your catalysts. So this session is not going to be very long today. We just really want to go through a few helpful key dates and things that everyone in the team needs to be aware. And also who from our team can help you in achieving some of the tasks that are required. We'll also go through some key event preparation items. And then we'll kind of go through some tasks that you should be aware connected to your project plan. Today's session will be recorded and will be available on demand. This means that you'll be able to share with your team, or if you have any other organizations or team members that have joined between now and then, it's really helpful that you share this particular webinar with them. It will have key information that they will be able to make use of. So one of the very first things that I would like to remind everyone is that we have issued contracts now for pretty much everyone on the team. Now, if you've just joined the team recently, we might still be getting those contacts from you, but just as general, you should have received your Catalyst contract by now. If you haven't, then do feel free to reach out to me or to Caroline. And her email is here, ctaylor@tmforum.org. Now, for all of those of you that have received contracts, it's really important that you return those by next Friday, the 22nd of March. And the reason for that is that our team is starting to compile marketing materials and printed deliverables where it's important that we have those contracts returned so that we can reach out to you for some of these deliverables and content. Without contracts, sometimes our team might not reach out for those deliverables and you might miss out. So be aware of these. So if you haven't received it, or if for whatever reason you can no longer find it in your inbox, or perhaps you need to redirect the contract to someone else within your organization, then do reach out to me or Caroline and we can help you with that. So I know that we're still a little while from the event, actually 60 days to be exact as of the day of this recording. I do know that some of you have started asking a few questions so that you can start organizing your travel. So, as you know, the show is from Tuesday to Thursday, the 14th to the 16th of May. But we do have some activities beforehand and after that you should be aware so that you can organize your travel. So the day before, on Monday the 13th, the team can actually come and check their Catalyst kiosk. That also gives you a time to meet with the rest of your team and perhaps do a last dry run of your demo. The access is available between 1 to 7 p.m. to all of those of you that have an exhibitor pass. For the other show days, we actually provide you early access. So Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, you can actually come from 7:30. That will give you an hour and a half to 2 hours to come in and just set up everything that you need to ahead of the doors opening for the show. So the opening times are here. So on Tuesday, you need to be at your kiosk, or your team needs to be at your Catalyst kiosk from 10:30 onwards, all the way through to 6 p.m. And on Wednesday and Thursday, you need to be there from 9 a.m. to 6:30 or 5:15 for the Thursday. Now, be aware that even during breaks and during lunchtimes, you do need to organize with your team of who will stay to staff that kiosk. That's actually the prime time for someone to come and speak to you. So don't leave your Catalyst kiosk unattended. And also be sure that you do make use of this early access and that you do also make sure that you're all set up and ready to go when the doors open. On the Tuesday, you can be at your kiosk earlier on, but usually that's when we do have our opening keynotes, and we tend to find that the traffic on the expo floor is a little bit slower. So if you do want to go and see those, or if you do want to just turn up a little bit later, then since you're there from 10:30, that would be what we would be looking for. And lastly, but not least, we are going to be having another action day on the Friday, 17th of May. The sessions will run from 9 until 4 p.m. And for those of you that haven't attended one of our action days, essentially they are sessions that we have after your Catalyst project cycle has ended, and just whilst we have opened a new cycle, to really give the teams the opportunity to work on a few key items. It will give your team valuable face-to-face time to really debrief on the work that you've done. You've just worked for a few weeks really intensively in your project, and you would have had perhaps some really great feedback from those that have attended the show. So really sitting down with your team straight after can prove really fruitful. If you are hoping to maybe do some contributions to the forum, or maybe apply for that contribution award that the deadline is in June, that's another really key time for you to discuss and map those out with your team. It will also give you an opportunity to really discuss some feedback with your team. So the key learnings, and perhaps you might have next steps for the Catalyst. It might be that you want to do a cycle to either in Asia or in Nice 2020. Or it might be that you've achieved all of your objectives and that you just really want to take stock at the great work that you've done over those past few weeks. Now, it might be that you're starting a new cycle, or it might be that you're actually starting a brand new Catalyst altogether. All of our TM Forum SMEs will be available, and it's a great time for you to do some Catalyst ideation and discussion with them. And if you're intending to submit for Digital Transformation Asia, we also will have our team readily available to discuss that with you. So do make sure that you do book travel. So your access passes for the event will also give you access to the Catalyst Action Day. It will be on the same venue, and we'll give you more details as we get nearer to the date. So some of you start asking, how does your kiosk look like? So just really want to give you a little bit of a view of the dimensions. So you usually get a kiosk that's about 1.80 approximately centimeters in length. The end-to-end kiosk actually sometimes can be up to 2 meters. You'll get 2 screens that's provided by us. You will get 2 wired connections. There is general Wi-Fi available. So for example, if you want to have 2 wired connections with 2 laptops where you're doing demos, but perhaps you want to have a 3rd laptop for those who come for a longer demo, that is also available, but you would have to connect to our event Wi-Fi. You'll get 1 lead scanner, which means that anyone that comes and visits your booth, you have the opportunity to scan their badge, and we can provide you all of that data post-show. And just below, there's also storage and locker, so that during the day you can leave some of your valuables there. Don't leave anything of value, but it is just something to assist the team with leaving any bags, laptops, so forth. Now, you see in this kind of pink shaded area here, that's usually where your Catalyst graphic will go. It will have your title for your project, and also all of the logos of all of the team members, both champions and participants who are participating on the project. So we've gone through kind of like the key essential dates, a little bit of how your kiosk will look like. And now I've got one of my colleagues, Rachel, from our events team, who's got a few items that she would like to remind you and walk through with you. So with that, hello, Rachel.
Hi, Tanya. Thank you so much. I am Rachel Jacoby. I am the sponsor manager at TM Forum. I'm sure I've worked with most of you in past. I thought I'd jump on just to give you a little bit of information about what we will be requiring from you and on what dates. My colleague, James Talbert, may have already been reaching out to many of you. We will be producing a show guide as we've done in the past. Each company gets a 100-word company description, their website, and their logo in the show guide. If you could please send your company description, logo, and logo in EPS format and your website to expo@tmforum.org by March 20th, that would be fantastic. The show guide does take several weeks to create and get together, so the March 20th deadline, though it does seem very early, it is quite necessary. If for some reason you don't think you can make that deadline, please reach out to us so we can leave a space for you. We want to make sure we are able to promote every company. Not only will your company description logo be in the show guide, but you'll also be featured on our participant list webpage. The next thing I'll be doing next week, I will be sending in a Survey Monkey to all of the main contacts for each project. And in this Survey Monkey, I'll be going over any key requirements that you may have. I can't guarantee that we can meet every single one of your needs, but I'd like to start a conversation if there's anything that is needed outside of what is included, which Tanya has already gone over. We can discuss and move from there. All Survey Monkeys responses will be due by March 27th. I will also need the finalized project titles by April 1st. As you saw in the last slide that Tanya presented, the header of your kiosk will have your finalized project name as well as all the logos of participating companies. I'll take all the logos that you submit for the show guide. We'll be using those as well as those finalized header titles to create the artwork for your headers. That'll also be in the show guide as well. If you have any concerns about any of these deadlines, please reach out to me at expo@tmforum.org as soon as possible so we can make sure that we work with you to create a successful event for everybody. Thanks, Tanya.
Thank you so much, Rachel. So do be reminded, I know that you're really busy working on your project and the content and the use cases, but some of these items are really important because we do have deadlines with our own suppliers. So ensuring that you provide us this information on time, just make sure that we can deliver for you on time too. So just be aware of these in the coming weeks. So we've covered contracts, we've covered the event. Now I really want to go through some of the tools. I know that I've covered some of this content already at Action Week if you attended. I also know that I've been covering some of this content, or maybe Alan, Cecilia, Sheng Fan, Derek, or Nancy might also have covered this content. But just in case if you missed it, I just really want to go through it again. Every single project has its own conference space. This is where you and your team can upload documents, you can do meeting notes. There's quite a lot of range of items that you can actually utilize Confluence for. You will need to go to either the link that will be available on this presentation, which will be made available to you, or either one of your team or one of our project management team will be able to send you the direct link for you to access this particular space. And you'll need to click on that Join the Project and accept the terms and conditions and the IPR before we are able to accept you. Just going into the project itself won't allow you just to access or see the documentation. You really need to go through those steps and accept that IPR so that just TM Forum is aware that you have understood those terms. Now, the Confluence space does has a two-step approval process. So when you do go and you do request to join, that request will come up to my Catalyst team and we will accept you. And then your organization might have one of two settings on their account. It might be that they say that once TM Forum has accepted your request, then you can access any of your materials on your Catalyst. Now, some other organizations usually prefer to have an insight of which collaboration and Catalyst projects their teams are joining. So it could be that your request might be going through a second step approval to your IPR contact in your organization. We have done an improvement to our systems this year that once we have approved you, you will automatically get an email advising of who the IPR contact is within your organization. So that if you see that a few days have gone past and you're still not able to access those resources, you can reach out to that person and remind them to accept you or to go and add you to that particular project. Now, if for a reason you're part of a really large organization, you don't quite know who that person is, and you actually prefer to utilize either myself or our IT team to reach out to them, feel free to do that. We'll do that, but just let us know. And one of the things that you do need to do, even if your organization is a member, you do need to create your TM Forum account with us if you haven't yet. So if you haven't done that, you can follow this link. It will take you to our registration page. It's 2 to 3 minutes. You just set up your profile, and as soon as you've done that, you can join the project. Now, there's many different tools within inside Confluence. So as I said before, you had your meeting notes, you can have your documentation. There's different other items such as your project chatter and other spaces that TM Forum creates. And this is quite helpful. So for example, for each meeting note, rather than your team sending lengthy emails to each other with presentations, you can actually upload all of that on Confluence, and either daily or weekly, you can get a digest of what's been uploaded. Or for example, if you've gone on annual leave and you've missed 1 or 2 meetings, you don't really need to trail through your emails to find that information. Your team should be able to have uploaded that, and you can just go and catch up in a very quick manner. But now I would really like to bring your attention to the project plan that's been uploaded to your Confluence. This is a step-by-step of all the tasks from the very start of the cycle, just in case if you want to go and have a look and see if you've missed any, all the way to the very end of your project. And even after a few weeks, there's still a few items, such for example, TM Forum providing you the contact leads for your booth that you had at the event, or maybe that contribution award that's submitted after the event itself. All of these tasks with their respective dates are here. You can actually go into edit, and as you go along, you can actually put that's been completed, then maybe it's in progress or overdue. And if you actually allocated these to someone else within your team, you can also tag them. So for example, I actually put here that the catalyst submission was Yuval from one of our teams that had to do that task. Yuval will actually get an email to notify him that he's been put towards an action here. And for example, if you want to add a note saying, before they had Confluence, they actually had uploaded on Google Docs, and they've put the link for that. As you go through this particular document, on those notes, links, and documents, you can either upload your own, but you also will see that there's a few items that are that TM Forum team has left a note just to help you out really see what it is that you need to deliver for those. So it might be that it has a contact name for you to contact, or maybe a little bit further detail that will help you completing that task. And again, if you have any questions, or if there's one of the tasks that you're not quite sure, then you can always use me as a point of contact, but you also have our wider team and your project mentor. So if that's Nancy, Shengfen, Derek, or Alan, do feel free to reach out to them and ask them for help on these matters. Now, during Action Week, we had Kevin that runs our Curate FX. This is a great tool for modeling. It's really great, especially if you're in a phase 1 or even subsequent phases, to really go through and really map out how your catalyst is going to look. And that actually is going to help you and save you a lot of time to really foresee maybe how that ecosystem will look like. Now, we usually suggest for at least 1 to 3 people within your team to be the editors of that platform. And that's just because you do need to know how to use that particular platform. You can reach out to me. You do need to come through me and give me the names of those in your team that need access. And I will also provide with a read-only link so that the whole and the remainder of the team can keep up and track the progress. Now, we did record, and your project leaders were invited to a webinar. I actually have put the link here. It's now available on demand. So let's say you perhaps have chosen someone new to take over these tasks, or it might be that you didn't thought that you wanted to use it before, but you would like to do now. Feel free to go and watch that on-demand webinar, and then to reach out to me for access to the platform. If you actually need specific or more in-depth training than that webinar, do feel free to reach out for Kevin. He knows the ins and outs of the project, and he will really be able to help you on that. Now, your project chart is not due for a little while, but I just wanted to bring to your attention, this is something that your team can actually start working now all the way through to the deadline, which is later on in April. A direct link will be updated in your conference space, so you can find it really easily. Or you can follow this direct link, which has all of the project charters. Now, as a standards organization, we do need to make public all the charters for all the project works that we're doing, and that includes your catalyst. So you and your team will need to go and put this information. Do please be made aware that this is public, so that you will need to add all the details that we have requested within those fields. Our team has already gone in and pre-populated some of those areas with what you submitted on your submission form back in December. Now, sometimes those fields haven't changed or sometimes they have. So do feel free to review it and just double check that it really remains the work that you are completing currently. And with that, we are getting towards the very end of the session. Thank you very much for having waited with us throughout this time. But I just wanted to remind you of a few key items regarding registration and travel. Now, as part of your catalyst, all of those that participate per organization will get 2 passes. So the participants will get 2 exhibitor passes and the champions will get 2 gold passes. Now, as soon as you return your catalyst contract, one of our team will automatically reach out to whomever that signed that contract and ask them who those passes should be allocated to. Now, if for a reason you haven't quite received those links, or you don't think that you've been registered and you should, then do feel free to contact expo@tmforum.org and they will be able to help you ensuring that all of those on your team are registered. If you do need more passes, here is a direct link for our registration portal, and over the next few days we will have a 20% discount for gold passes available to any Catalyst team. Be reminded to take into account that you do need to book that Friday the 17th to stay in Nice. If you want any help with accommodation or travel, our website has actually got quite helpful hints and tips and organizations to help you book that travel. So if you haven't done that yet, do feel free to check out those links and pass them to anyone else on your team that's traveling with you. And we kind of gone to the end of our session today. Thank you so much for patiently having stayed with us. I just wanted to bring to the attention, I've gone through quite a few tasks for today, and there's kind of a few key contacts within our team. So I've just kind of put a slide here just so that you have that direct information. So just as a reminder, if you're waiting on contracts or you want to return them, Caroline is your person to go. If you do have any concerns or questions regarding registration, and that could be visa letters, do contact us on expo@tmforum.org. For those 100-word company descriptions and logos, do reach out to James, Talbot, and Rachel from our team. You can also reach them on expo@tmforum.org. We will be starting our marketing webinars from next week onwards with your marketing leads. But if you do have any questions regarding any marketing items, you can contact either Charlotte or Ailish from our team. They're both based in Europe, so do bear in mind that. And again, if you're not quite sure, if this hasn't quite covered the topic that you need help on, or if you do need any support regarding conference or maybe your Zoom bridges or your use cases, but you're not quite sure of who to reach out to, then always feel free to reach out to me as a point of contact and I can redirect you to one of our team. 60 days from the event, we're really excited. We've got some really great catalysts and we really appreciate all the work that you're doing on these catalysts that we will have at the event. We really look forward over the next few weeks and have a rest of a great day.